I just did an elaborate steak experiment to find a natural replacement for MSG. And this is how it went.
Whoa. A big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
If you want to make a delicious steak like this, then technique is the key. But if you want the flavors of the steak to be amazing, you need to buy good quality beef. Of course, we all know this, salt. And when you're using that, you're probably also using this, pepper. However, the last couple of years, another ingredient came onto the scene that's maybe even going to take the #1 spot on the most important ingredients to make your steak pop in flavor. Of course, I'm talking about this. Yes, I'm talking about monosodium glutamate. Well, this is umami flavor in its purest form. So there's sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and the fifth one, umami or savory. Of course, chefs want to take it to the next level, and this is the next level. However, I'm not talking about the headaches or I'm talking about the flavor profile of this in its purest form. Because if you use too much of it, everything starts tasting like dried chicken stock. If you put one of these in your carbonara sauce, it's going to enhance the flavors, but it's going to also make it taste like chicken soup. But once you start noticing that a lot of recipes require chicken stock in dry cube form, then you can't unnotice it. You might be thinking, well, PitmasterX, maybe you're overdoing it a little bit. Well, you might be right. However, I want to do the experiment where we take this, put it on a steak, and then we're going to find another way, a natural way, to get the same experience. And I found out that, for instance, anchovies have 630 milligrams per 100 grams of free glutamates. There are ingredients that rank much higher. For instance, dried shiitake mushrooms with 1060 milligrams per 100 grams of free MSG. But the king of all MSG is Parmesan cheese. Yes, I knew it. Now let me tell you about my plan to make umami flavors at home, and to do that I'm going to slice fine these tomatoes. I'm going to put them on a wired rack. I'm going to do the same thing for the shiitake mushroom. I'm going to cut them up real fine. The Parmesan cheese I'm going to grate, and then all of this goes into a machine. And this is the machine that I'm talking about. Now this one has been around the block because it's also perfect for making beef jerky. If you just smoked it and then slide it into a food dryer, you're gonna have it absolutely perfect in just a couple of hours. Now this one specifically is very, very inexpensive, and that's why I do really recommend picking one of these up, because it's just gonna be a joy to own a food dryer. Trust me. The first thing that I'm gonna do is slide in the tomatoes because they are the wettest, and if moisture drops down from the tomatoes, it's just gonna go to the bottom and it's not getting on my Parmesan cheese, for instance. I'm going to set it to a temperature of 65 degrees Celsius, turn it on, and then I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. All through the night the house smelled like pizza, and now the fragrance is gone, which means most of the moisture has evaporated. Let's check. Our Parmesan cheese, oh, that is nice and crispy. Absolutely perfect. These are the shiitake mushrooms, also really, really dry. And now for the tomatoes. They turned super dry too. First I'm going to take out the Parmesan cheese, put it in my mortar and pestle and grind it fine until I have a dust-like consistency. Of course I'm going to do the same thing for the shiitake mushrooms. Take them out, grind them up, and then the tomatoes. Amazing how powdery-like this all became. Look at it, it's creating dust clouds. I have now 4, and of course let's make a little bowl with our monosodium glutamate, and if you can't find that, you can always get this. This is Sin, which is basically a comparison to MSG. Now I've got my 4 superpowers in MSGs, and to do this experiment I selected a beautiful New York strip, born and bred locally, and I'm going to cut it up into sticks. I'm going to cut it about 1.5 fingers thick. Now that is one beautiful locally grown New York strip steak. And this is the full experiment that we're about to do. I've got my salt, pepper and garlic. I've got the dried tomato, I got the dried mushrooms, and I got a dried Parmesan cheese. And then of course we got the MSG. Now first I'm going to season all of these steaks with a little bit of salt, pepper and garlic. Now the first steak is going to be my reference steak, and the second steak is going to be the steak where I add the tomatoes. Then I'm going to put on the mushrooms, the Parmesan cheese, the MSG, and finally the last steak is going to be my super steak. So I'm going to put on some tomato, mushrooms, and Parmesan cheese. Since these ingredients are super dry, they're going to draw out moisture from the steak, and that will help them stick to the steak. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, let them sit, soak up the juices from the steak. Then I'm going to flip them around and season the other side as well. These steaks are now ready to hit the grill. Of course, I'm going to stick in my meter thermometer so I can keep an eye on the steaks. I'm going to stick it in my reference steak because I'll be using the reverse sear method. And to do that, I'm taking my Napoleon Kettle Grill, loading it up with charcoal, lighting it up, and setting it to a temperature of 120 degrees Celsius, which is about 240 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I'm going to put the steaks in, let them smoke, and once they hit a core temperature of 52 degrees Celsius, it's time to sear them off over direct heat. Now it's time for the experiment. So you all know him, Jim. Ooh. It's his birthday. If you see this video, it's not his birthday, but now it's his birthday. So I thought this would be a great occasion. That's a great present, right? So let's slice into this and take a look inside. Now this is the reference steak, so you can get an idea of what it tastes like. All right, 2 slices, one for you, one for me. Happy birthday. That makes for a good steak, right?
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Then this is the steak that I put the tomato powder on. Different color, different look.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Looks very good.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah, it's like a healthy steak.
The idea behind this experiment was not to make a salad out of a steak.
No.
Can we taste MSG, natural MSG in the tomato?
Not so much.
No, I don't think the tomato is doing the steak justice for MSG.
No, not in that sense.
It's nice,
yeah,
but it's not what we're looking for. The mushrooms.
I'm excited for this one. I don't know why.
Yes, comment
it's
down.
Nothing to do with mushrooms.
Comment down below.
That actually has some MSG.
Yeah, that's way more than the tomato.
Yeah.
Okay. Loads and loads of MSG.
All right, Parmesan cheese.
Really nice taste.
Nice, yeah, but
Less MSG.
less MSG.
Yeah.
I
Which is
never
crazy.
expected, yeah. Because Parmesan is supposed to have more MSG, free MSG in it. This was my steak. This
Yeah,
was the one
yeah.
I was rooting for. This was gonna be it. We know it's there. We know the MSG is there, but it's not here.
It's not here.
Not on steaks.
Oh, you have another one.
Another one.
Wow.
This is the MSG, the white bag.
Okay, okay, okay.
Oh,
Yeah. It's longer there.
Yeah.
Way longer. Yeah.
In the first bite, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
When you bite into it, it's like, it's a chicken soup thing.
Yeah.
And you didn't have that with the shiitake mushrooms. I don't know if they have this around the world, but we have cup of soup. Cup of soup.
4 o'clock, cup of soup.
That's it. Uno más. This is going to be the one. The one that is going to defeat this little white bag. Because we do want MSG in the umami flavor, but we don't want the chicken stock experience.
No.
So if we can just throw this away and have natural products replace it and make it better, and if there's just one steak that can do it, I think this is the one. It has the Parmesan cheese, it has the tomato, it has the shiitake mushroom. This is the one. Here we go. Ooh.
The ultimate one. Whoa.
Oh.
this is really good.
This is the over-the-top idea that finally works. We need to figure out a way.
To put that into bags. New rub?
I think we need to talk to our rub mixing guy. Yeah, you gotta comment down below. If we gotta make that rub, well, I think we're gonna make it anyway, so you have it. But we're just gonna keep on eating.
What a great birthday.
See you guys in the next video.
Next time.
Poh.